hello out there, we're on the air, it's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps, and the players bump, and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. The best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Where players dash with skates that flash, the home team trails behind. But they grab the puck and go bursting up, and they're down across the line. They storm the crease like bumblebees, they travel like a burning flame. We see them slide the puck inside, it's a 1-1 hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. The best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Oh, take me where the hockey players face up down the ring. And the Stanley Cup is all filled up for the champs who win the drink. Now the final flick of a hockey stick and the one gigantic scream. The puck is in, the home team wins the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. The best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game.
All right, welcome in everyone. Happy Thursday, and for you Oiler fans out there, woo!
Wow.
They made it. I'm glad I was wrong. Woohoo!
Me too.
Oh, smiles galore.
Y'all never had faith. You have to keep the faith strong.
Oof.
Oh, man, so
I was
long
glad
coming.
either way. Being wrong, being right. But I'm glad I'm wrong on this one.
What was the last Canadian team was Vancouver in 2010, right? To make the finals?
Montreal in 21.
Montreal.
Oh, yeah, the pandemic year with all the
against
different
Tampa, which is in the same division, but that was a weird ass. You know, there was
Canada
the Canadian division and all that crap. So we ended up, and that's never going to happen again, where
No.
Montreal and Tampa can meet in the finals. It can never happen.
Yeah, that was definitely a crazy alignment. It was kind of cool though to see all the Canadian teams as part of that one division. But Montreal, yeah, that was a surprise. It must have been a interesting time in Montreal there, Frank, with the Canadians unexpectedly going to the finals.
Especially that everybody said, "Oh, it's because Canadian teams," and we went against Vegas in the semis.
Yeah.
All right, your run is over, you losers. You only beat shitty Monday Canadian team. Canadian division sucks, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And we kicked Vegas's ass, baby.
Quit living in the past, Frank.
Yeah, that's something an Oiler fan can say.
Yeah, because in 3 years, you're not going to relive this at all. Eh?
Shit, they're
Oh,
still
hey,
reliving the 80s, for God's sake. For God's sake.
Yeah, you got to feel for Vancouver fans, for Dallas Star fans, 2 years in a row that they were so close for Dallas and Vancouver. Three seasons or 3 years they were runners up in the Stanley Cup Finals to Montreal or to the Islanders, the Rangers, Boston.
Nobody tops the Buffalo Bills 4 straight times in the Super Bowl. And Norwood's kick, it's like everything would happen to these poor suckers, man. Like Jim Kelly, man, no ring, man. That was crazy. It's like the gods were against them. That was a run that was historic, but that didn't give them a championship.
Well, before we get to real or fake news, again, just checking the blood pressure there, Finn, in game number 6. I guess we'll analyze it a little bit later, but just in general, a little bit nervous there towards the end of that Dallas game.
Yeah, Dallas was definitely playing desperate, but I mean, we don't win without Skinner. I tell you for free. All those Skinner leaders out there, That was the best game he's ever played in his career at the most important time of his career, and he shut the door.
Yeah. Well, remember in 2006 we sent Yzerman into retirement, and now in 2024,
Oh, yeah.
Pavelski.
Little Joe.
Yeah, into retirement. Okay, Frank, it is that time. We are not going to do the trivia today. We're going to do the real or fake news. You've got some stuff for us for the chat as well. Chat,
I had trivia.
Oh, you got trivia?
Yeah.
Well, you can't now. I got the wrong slide. You got to do
It's
real
okay.
fake news.
It's okay.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Stanley Cup trivia.
All right. First, okay, we're going to do it differently because, sometimes it takes too long to get the correct guess. So I'm going to ask the question. You're each going to ask me a yes or no question. And as we go along, like Finn, you can continue with the subject line of, like, say, Glenn, or you can go on your own tangent. You keep asking yes or no, and the first person that has a correct guess, you can guess whenever you want. You guess, and if you get it right, so it's like a little bit of strategy with going with other people, etc. So you each, and it's yes or no. So you can't say what year was it, but you can say what decade was it, or what decade you can't. If you say it was in the 70s, then I can say yes, and then that keeps pinpointing. Is that cool?
Frank, can I have the instructions in English, please?
Ask a yes or no question.
Okay.
Yes or no. I can only answer yes or no.
Okay.
And then you take those answers, and then the following person can continue on that subject line or go on their subject line.
We'll start. Right? So Finn can go after you then.
Well, no. Like, you're going to start asking me the first question, then Finn, and then Old Man Fred, and then it goes back to you until somebody throws out a guess. And then if not, continue. All right?
Okay, I got it. I'm clear now. Okay.
Okay, so that like pinpoints you guys instead of trying to guess. You can pinpoint the answer, but as soon as anybody is ready, not the person who asked the question, anybody can chime in after I say yes or no.
Okay.
All right.
I go first?
So the first question is, you'll never know, but if you're good at riddles, you might get it. All right? Because it's pretty difficult, let's just say. So and it's Stanley Cup related, obviously. So what Stanley Cup record can never be broken unless the current rules change? So Glenn, you can go with the first yes or no.
Okay. So I get to, okay. So was this record set in the 2000s?
No. Finn.
Is this an individual record, like an individual person's record?
Great. Yes. Old Man Fred.
Did this individual play for the Montreal Canadiens?
No.
Was this individual at the time of the record was set on a Canadian team?
No.
Ooh.
I love this. Sorry, but I already love it.
Was this record set before the salary cap era?
Yes.
Was this record set in the 90s?
No.
Is this a goaltending record?
No.
Chat wants to ask one.
No. It has nothing to do with games played, Fassmacher. So I gave more than a yes.
Is this record a point scoring record?
No. Fassmacher says I want to take over from Fast Say Jack. So no, Finn.
Was this record set in the 80s?
No.
Good Lord.
Is
Old
the
man
player
Fred's going to go back one decade at a time.
Yeah, we're gonna keep going. I can.
is the player that set this record still living?
I don't know. Let me go
Oh,
look.
Jesus.
That's not an option, Frank. Yes or no?
I don't know. Hold on.
That's good. That's a good question.
No, he did.
Oh, okay. All right, we're going further then. Yep.
All right, Finn.
Does this record have to do with the age of the person?
Yes.
Ooh.
Whoa!
Finn, you had great question all the way through. Old man Fred. Okay, I'll repeat
So
the
is
original
this
question.
is this record having to do with points?
No.
I already
Chats.
asked that one.
Chat's turn.
What? Oh,
Chat's turn.
I can't hear you. What? Oh, chat's turn. Okay, hold on. I got to go back to the chat. Was it set when there were only 6 teams? Yes.
Okay. That's not a Canadian's record. Oh, I know. I got it.
Is this player in
You
the
can
Hall of
answer
Fame?
it whenever.
Okay. Yeah. Is this about a player who played all 6 positions in the Stanley Cup final?
No,
Ooh.
because
King
That-
Clancy.
remember, it cannot be broken unless the current rules changes.
Well, I think
There's
that
no
would
rule that you can't play all positions, including goalies, right now.
Is this
That's
player in the Hall of Fame? Hello, checking. Check.
I have to check, man. That's a very specific question. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Is that the right? Yes.
Okay. Ben?
Hold on. No, that's fucking no. That's another guy with the same name.
Oh, there's a big hint.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I got it. Is it the youngest player to ever play in the Stanley Cup playoffs?
That's a yes and no. You're almost there.
Is this record holder named Bip Guldolan?
No.
Good
You're
Lord.
like, you just have to
Are we supposed to
rephrase
guess the player or the record? What are we guessing here?
the record.
Record. Okay. Okay.
The youngest
You're
player
so
to
close
play in
to-
the NHL.
Youngest player to score a goal in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Not. Because I don't know if he scored. That has nothing to do with the Finn. You're like, you just have to rephrase. Take your question, rephrase it, and give it as an answer.
Is the Jesus?
Is this the youngest person to play in the Stanley Cup finals?
Ta-da! Or no, almost. Sorry, almost.
Almost.
Is the youngest player to play in the Stanley Cup Finals 16 years old?
No,
17, maybe.
Glenn.
Is this the youngest player to play in the
No.
Stanley Cup
Wrong
Final?
word.
Is this the player? Is
No.
this the oldest player to play in the Stanley Cup Final?
No. Because there's no rules. You can play at 60 if you want.
Yeah, but you can't play at 15.
Yeah.
So,
But the key is not play. That's the wrong word.
Is he
Is
the
this the
youngest
youngest
player
coach?
to debut in the Stanley Cup playoffs?
No.
is
Youngest
he the youngest person on the Stanley Cup?
Yes. See, you did it without. So he's the youngest player to
Name.
ever win. So have his
Okay.
name on the cup. So Larry Hillman was 18 years old, 2 months and 9 days when he won the Stanley Cup. And with today's draft rules and all that, with birth dates and all that, that record cannot ever be broken unless they let people play a year early because Connor Bedard,
Oh,
for example, he's one of the youngest players this year, but when the cup is won, he can't be younger than this dude.
Right, because you can be 18 when you're drafted, correct? But it's going to take 9 months to play. Can you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
17 year old.
Yeah, in June.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in June, but by the time blah blah blah. So it's a record that can't be broken unless
Yeah. I see.
the rules.
Cool.
So I saw that and I went, and that was in 1955
for Detroit. Oh, Boston. No,
Detroit.
Detroit.
Oh,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, pretty cool.
That was tough, but it's more like a riddle. Okay, this will be easy. Who is the oldest? Because someone of you guys asked if it was the oldest.
Yeah.
Who is the oldest player to ever win the cup? All right, we'll start with Finn. Yes or no? Eh? Again.
Oh, it's the yes or no. Is this player before there was, or no? Did this player play when there was only 6 teams?
No. Old man Fred.
Alex Trebek. Who is Chris Chelios?
Okay. Did you Google that? Or you knew it?
No, I figured because he was in his 40s when Detroit was winning.
Yeah, that's my question next. Is this Chris Chelios?
Is this Chris Chelios?
Yeah. So he was 46.
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah.
And 6 months when he won the Stanley Cup.
I don't think he played that much, but he was on the roster at that point.
Yeah. 46 and a half years old when he won the cup. Crazy. Eh?
Yeah.
All right. This will be not a yes or no because it's a pretty straightforward. Hold on. Where is it? Oh, I'm too low. Sorry. All right, there's official engravers for the Stanley Cup, and the Stanley Cup hasn't been in existence for a very, very long time. How many engravers in the history of the NHL? All right, so you can guess first because it's just a number. So, old man Fred, your guess.
6.
No. Go Oilers because you're not laptop today. Go Oilers, guess.
13.
No. Finn.
3.
No. Chat.
How many engravers of the Stanley Cup?
Well, hey, don't cheat.
Are you talking about this one here?
Yeah, I hate that.
All right, old man Fred. 8 and 2 for the chat. That's no and no.
Okay.
So you can
Is
take
it is the number under 10?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
Well, there's only a couple numbers left.
you were supposed to guess, baby. All right.
Oh, well, sorry. I thought this was.
Is it 3?
No, that was already given as an answer, as
4.
a guess. Finn. 4. Can you believe only 4 total engravers? That's nuts. It's like, they say,
are they all in one family?
I don't know. But it's crazy because you see sometimes, the great-grandchild of Washington, it's like generations, It's like if you live 80 plus 80 plus 80, like you said, the great-grandchild from somebody who lived 400 years ago. So only 4 engravers. So that means they hire them young and they keep them around for a long time.
I want to fact check that, Frank. I don't know. 4 sounds pretty low.
Oh my God.
Well, I have it right here. I can send you the site if you want.
All right. Is that the last one?
Oh, no. All right. I have another trivia. And then this is also, we go back to yes or no. Okay?
Okay.
I've played 8 seasons in the NHL. I'm 5th on my team's all-time assist list. I'm 8th in points. I'm 5th in points per game. And I have 2 of the top 10 scoring seasons in franchise history. Who am I? And am I a superstar?
Are all these stats relative to the one team or the league?
One team.
Is that player still playing?
Yes. Okay, we start with Finn. He went first, so I'm going this way. Old man Fred.
Is this a Canadian team?
Yes. Lap.
Is this an Edmonton Oiler?
No. Finn.
Ooh.
Unless the chat. Which one?
Is this?
Oh, somebody found my site because it's like, who's the one that couldn't spell Islanders? Because in the quirky facts, they have misspelling of all the names. So Janks did good research. All right, Finn.
So you said yes to a Canadian team?
Yes.
Yep.
Is that Canadian team in the East?
Yes. Old man Fred.
Is it the Montreal Canadiens team?
Nope.
Is this a defenseman?
Nope. Finn.
He plays for Toronto?
Yes. Old man Fred. Remember, you can.
Come on, Fred. He's active.
You can shout out any name.
Doesn't mean he's playing for Toronto now, though. So
Daryl Sittler.
No.
Sittler.
You said the player is active, though, right?
Yeah, Sittler's
Yes.
still not playing.
Oh.
Old man Fred. Question or yes or
Okay. Was this player a centerman, or is this player a centerman?
no?
Correct.
Lap.
Is this player a top 6 player in the last season?
On his team, yes.
Is this player Mitch Marner?
Yes.
Oh, God. Why would you ask that question?
We narrowed it down for you, Finn.
No, but can you believe that with all the things I said after 8 seasons, Toronto has been around for a freaking long time, that this guy's a scapegoat and he sucks and blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's crazy. When I saw those stats, I go, this guy should be untouchable, man.
Yep. For sure.
All right, do you want one more or we've had enough?
Let's go one more. One more.
All right.
Can I just ask a question really quick? So, and I don't know if this is coming up, but so have you heard that there's a name from the Oilers that was X'd out on the Stanley Cup, 1984?
Yes.
And do you know who that name was?
Pocklington's father.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
That's part of my site with the question I could have asked.
Yeah, isn't that something? Hey, I didn't know that. Yeah, very good. Anyway, sorry, Frank.
Yeah. How many Stanley Cups are there?
For what?
Oh, I know what you're saying.
How many Stanley Cups are there? Total.
3.
3.
3 is the right answer. Did you know the XXX and all the mistakes like the Islanders that was in the chat and the Bruins and all the mistakes that were made? Bob Gainey was Bob Gainey. You know, all the mistakes are only on the original. The 2 others are replicas, and there is no mistakes for engraving. So they say the way you know that if you're holding the true real cup is to see all these mistakes.
Yeah, very cool.
What was your question, Oilers?
Yeah, you know why that is? Because they have 85-year-old engravers. That's why
they do mistakes at the end of their career.
Okay, so one's in the Hall of Fame. One is the original that they present. What's the third one?
No, I think it's the one that goes to all the players because there's the one that goes on the ice. There's the one that's in the Hall of Fame, and I think the one that goes all around with the players, you know, like that gets thrown in pools and shit. I think that's the third one. I think. I don't know.
Which one's the real one? The one in the Hall of Fame?
The real one is the one that is presented at the game, and the players walk around, and that's the only time they touch it because that's where they do the engraving right on the spot, and then they wait till all the 52 names are done, and then they bring it out. But that's the only time.
Oh.
Frank, do you know the answer to that question in chat?
What do they do? The old rings are in the Hall of Fame, and right now
How many
it's
rings are there?
what?
How many rings are there?
I think there's 9. I gotta go look. I had all that, by the way. And the rings that are gone are. Hold on, I have it here. Da-da-da-da-da. Players between 1928-29 and 1953-54 are at the Hall of Fame. And these are most of the names from the Dominion Cup era.
Oh,
Yep.
So the cup, when it's presented, only has names from 54 on.
Correct, because they took a ring out in 2012, whatever, because it was getting too big.
yeah, it was too big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So
So
last
they must be
question.
able to- okay.
What?
Well, they must be able to shrink the rings down, right? Because the biggest one's at the bottom. So when they move that one up, they must like how.
Yeah, I don't know what
Well,
the how
The
they
ones
do
at the
that.
top are probably still the original, I would think, and then they just remove the top big one.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. That's why that would make sense with the years that are missing, because the Stanley Cup is even older than that. So all right. So last question. We'll do yes and no again. Who maybe what year was this? You might have the answer. Which team is the only 8th seed to ever win the Stanley Cup?
Los
Los
Angeles
Angeles
Kings.
Kings.
LA Kings.
LA Kings.
You didn't even need questions. So it was too recent, but they're the only ones in history. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minnesota went to the
The
finals.
Oilers came close, but in 06,
And Minnesota went to
right?
the finals that year, but and they lost against Pittsburgh in 1991-92. But only one has won.
Wasn't
by the
Edmonton
way,
8th seed in 2006?
Yeah,
Yeah, the Oilers were.
but
but they
didn't
never
win.
won.
They didn't win. They lost in Game 7.
Goddamn Rollison and his weak knees.
So, by the way, did you know 2 babies were baptized in the Stanley Cup?
You don't want to know what
McDavid
goes
and
on with the
Matthews?
Stanley Cup.
Yeah, there's 2 babies that were baptized in the Stanley Cup.
Good Lord.
Yeah, Sylvain Lefebvre's daughter when the Avalanche won the cup in 1996, and Thomas Holmstrom's niece when Detroit won in 2008.
Yeesh.
So that was it.
Thank you for giving us some Stanley Cup trivia there. That was fun. Okay, let's go on with the show here. A few little odds and ends here over the last few weeks since our last show. I guess they announced today or yesterday that teams are going to be starting to change their logos and jerseys, as many do every year. Apparently, Anaheim, the Mighty Ducks logo, is going to be an orange, black, and gold next year, more modernized version of the Mighty Duck logo. And the Kings are going to go back to the Gretzky era logo in black and silver.
That's not going to help them.
Well,
Wow.
they're going to relive the 90s, I guess, with Gretzky. Wasn't a fan of that jersey, the 90s Kings. But apparently they're going to have a new crown logo on their jersey, and Anaheim's changing their duck to a more modernized duck.
Well, that sucked when they had the Ducks. It's like, and LA had no originality, the current one, so it's okay that they're going to replace both. By what? It's going to be an improvement, but like you said, a lot of people won't like it, but
yeah. Okay, each of you get a response here. Apparently, the new team in Utah is down to 8 names: the Blizzard, the Yeti, the Hockey Club, the Mammoth, the Outlaws, and the Venom. Voting closes on June 20th. Almost more than 500,000 votes have been already submitted. Which of the 8 are you more in favor of, Finn?
Well, Yeti, I heard Yeti like right out the gate, and I wouldn't mind if it was still Yeti.
Yeah. Utah Yetis.
Old man Fred.
Yeti, I like Yeti for sure.
Yeti? And Frank?
Well, I don't understand hockey club. Whoever, I don't know how many thousands of people are morons, but you can identify the morons with the hockey club.
Try to take a page out of soccer.
Yeah, Venom. You can cross promote with the Marvel universe with the Venom movies, but I don't know. Blizzard isn't Utah? Isn't it warm there? It's like I don't know.
Utah's pretty warm, but it's
It's snowy.
Blizzard.
It's mountain.
Vancouver were named the Blizzard. I don't know. So I would go maybe Outlaws just because it sounds cool. You know.
Well, hey, they can market with Dairy Queen, as TX Jank says. So they can have a
Blizzard. Yeah, that's true too. But the Outlaws. And
I wouldn't mind a Yeti mug with a Yeti Hockey Club logo on it.
Yes.
So an Avalanche and a Blizzard in the same division. That's interesting.
There you go.
Outlaws is like a USFL type of name. You know, and then all they have to do is trade for Matthew Tkachuk and Nick Cousins and Max Domi, and then
don't forget Kane and Perry.
So that would be
awesome. They could go back to the CFL where Las Vegas had a team, the Las Vegas Posse. Let's try that one.
The what? The what?
The Posse.
The Posse.
Posse. Oh.
Hey, by the way, do you guys know what Corey Perry can achieve if he wins the Stanley Cup? That could have been a question of mine. But
4 years on the Stanley Cup final teams, like Patrick.
No, he's already up to 5.
No, he's only won. He hasn't won very many.
No, he hasn't won many, but he's on the 5th team, I think.
Yeah, he's on the 5th team in the finals.
Yeah,
that's So, and I think if he won in Anaheim.
Yeah, that's it. I think.
Yeah.
And that was
he never won with Montreal. He never won with.
No, 17 years ago. It might be the largest gap between the two wins. But yeah, as soon as he steps foot on the ice or whatever, he's officially. I don't know if you have to play to be in the finals, but 5 finals with 5 different teams. Never been done before.
Well, so he's already said it. He doesn't have to win.
No. I said win, but it's like it's play. Old man Fred was right. It's play in the Stanley Cup. 5 different teams, not 5 different times.
Yeah. So apparently the hockey arena in Utah is not very fan friendly, according to
apparently it's set up for basketball.
Yeah, they have to build one. It's going to be like New Jersey playing in whatever they were playing there. Barclays Center?
NASA Coliseum for the Islanders when they played there for a few years.
Yeah.
Where the rink was off, or no, the Jumbotron was off center from the middle of the ice.
Yeah, but the Barclays Center, they had a huge cement beam that hid like 200 seats all the way up. It's like, and he scores! Did he? Because it's also Barclays was also I think for basketball, and now they moved to Newark. But when they were playing, I can't remember where, or was that the Island? No, it was Jersey. They played Meadowlands, and then they moved somewhere. Unless that was the Islanders, I can't remember.
The owner is already committed to. I think they're already in the process of getting the new arena built.
Correct. Yeah, he's gonna build. He's gonna build it for both basketball and hockey. Yeah, but instead of being just basketball, he'll take both under consideration, like a lot of dual teams do.
Does he own the Jazz?
Yes.
Yeah, he owns the Jazz too. Okay.
Yeah, that's where most of his $1 billion fortune comes from. You know.
All right, let's move on. Next, Fanatics, one of the main clothing manufacturers for the NHL now, has put out a new cap for the Stanley Cup Finals. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but what's your take on the Stanley Cup Final cap?
That's kind of funny.
I give it a big thumbs down.
I've never seen that before.
I saw it, and everybody's trashing it. It's like who got paid money to do this fucking bullshit?
But I've never seen two teams on one half before. Never.
I know. That's so stupid. And it's like, you want me to buy merchandise for them playing in it? It's like, then you're going to make me buy for winning. It's like so stupid, man. And think about old man Fred, man. Do you think he's going to put a cap on with Puke's fucking logo on it, man?
Frank, they're Velcro. You can take one off at the end of the finals.
They are not Velcroed, I guarantee you that. But even if he would not take it off at the end of the playoffs. He would take it off when he bought it.
Well, Finn, I'm sure you've seen this, but they should be Velcro, because if Oilers do win, you could take the Florida one off and put on another Oiler one, and it would look just like that chick from the game the other night.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone would be buying that hat.
Those things were made in Florida, but they were in Edmonton.
Hat. Now there's a hot seller.
Yeah, the Oilers fan are trying to be like the Calgary fans when they had the red light district, whatever. When all the girls were flashing on the street there where they all congregated.
Yeah.
Chat, we can't show that. Sorry, we cannot show that. No. It's all over Twitter, though.
Just search Oilers fangirl or something.
yeah, porn star. So yeah.
TJ Jenks has it like looks nipply. For the cap.
Well, I mean, it's Edmonton. What did you expect? For God's sake, you're gonna flash those things around. Of course, it's gonna be nipply. So there you go.
No, but I think he was talking about the cap.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why I'm so focused on something else. All right.
You're remembering the video.
Calm down, guys. Calm down. Think of Calgary. Calm down.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get on to hockey and talk about the Stanley Cup Finals. Of course, we had Dallas and Edmonton, Florida, and the Rangers. Just your quick take on the Florida Rangers series, Frank. You're an Easterner, so you probably paid more attention to it than the rest of us. So give us your breakdown on what went right for Florida and what went wrong for the Rangers.
Power play. So same as in Dallas. So power play failed New York. They had that 5-4 game, but the rest, their offense, like their stars did not play with stars. Panarin, Zibanejad, Lafreniere was their best player, for God's sakes,
Yeah.
So it just wasn't there, wasn't clicking. And, Florida, look, one goal game. It's only the first game they went 3-0.
Yeah.
All the rest are one-goal games. They can play with pressure, and New York, it was tough, man. They won that OT game, but that's it, and that broke Florida's chance of breaking the Montreal record. But, I don't know, Florida, they were money, man, money. They never panicked with a one-goal lead, So, but the offense completely failed New York. And a little bit like Toronto. I don't want to harp on them, but, when you have ballet dancers, when you need the goal, when you need that go-to, they don't step up because it's playoff hockey. You get hurt, you get hit, and Florida hits hard. To score a goal, you have to pay a price, and you pay with pain, And I don't think the Panarins and all the players were ready to pay with pain. Pain. So that's what happened in that series. Sherstakin, can you blame him? A little bit, but he got outplayed by Bobrovsky.
Finn, I don't know. Did you catch the other series?
I kept up with what was going on. What surprised me, though, I think I wrote Game 6. I think Zibanejad was sitting at 0 points yet on the series. I don't know if he actually ended up getting any points, but when someone like that is sitting at no points at that point in the series, you're not going to be doing pretty good. You're not going to be doing anything.
But Fussmerker said it in the chat. They took the wide angle shot all the time instead of going to the net.
Yep. New York would have probably lined up well against Dallas, to be honest. The Dallas isn't a physical team. they like the running gun and stuff like that. I think New York would have fared better against Dallas.
Old man Fred, did you catch much of the series?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it, especially. So I watched once I thought the Oilers were actually going to make it. I did watch the final game, and I got to admit, Florida looks freaking tough. They were knocking Ranger guys on their ass the whole game. They looked tough, and I didn't think the Rangers were soft. I didn't think they were a soft team, but they sure as hell looked like it on Game 6. And
they're not like Ryder, Trouba, like even Zibanejad used to hit and all that, but they were like deer in headlights.
Yeah, and 2-1. It sounds like it really wasn't that close as far as I was concerned. I mean, the Rangers have a goaltender, which helps, and he played well, but at the end of the day, they look soft, and it was Florida's to slap them around, and that's what they did.
Yeah, I think the sequence that summarizes New York's playoff loss is Trouba going for a big hit at the blue line and giving a 2-on-1 to create the goal.
Yeah,
like he wanted to respond with violence so much he went out of position. Didn't even make the guy ducked him, whatever. And then he turns around to watch the goal because he's out of position. And then his partner had to compensate. And then that exemplifies New York. Florida hit when they had a chance to hit and when it didn't mess up their positioning, their plays, and all that. New York were chasing hits.
Yeah. Well-deserved on Florida. They played playoff hockey like it should be played and kept it close again, all one-goal games, as Frank said, except for that first game. All right, then we get on to the Edmonton-Dallas series. And again, without giving away our predictions from the last round or our predictions for the final, talk about a little bit. Finn, we're going to start with you on this one because you're one of the biggest Oiler fans out there. You've been watching the Oilers since their 2006 run pretty much, and now you're being rewarded with a Stanley Cup final appearance again as an adult. So what went right for Edmonton, Finn, and what went wrong for Dallas?
It's probably pretty simple. There was two things that Dallas was supposed to have to get past the Oilers, and that was their depth and that was their goaltending. And what didn't show up for Dallas this series? Their depth and goaltending. And what did the Oilers have this series? Depth until the last couple of games where the Stars could take over. And Skinner played really well all series long. So not to mention the penalty kill went perfect the whole series, and the power play woke up in the last couple of games. So I think it's a lot more simple than anything else. It's just that the Oilers' depth and
that's exactly it, Finn. It's exactly that explanation. Skinner turned into Dominic Hasek. He gave up 12 goals in the series, and Ottinger wasn't there. It's like Pavelski had no points, I think.
The depth kept the Oilers in the series until game 5 and 6, and that's when McDavid and the rest of the crew lit it up to bring it home.
Put it on their backs and went for it, So.
If it wasn't for the depth at the beginning of the series, it would have been Dallas's.
Old man Fred, let me ask you, Dallas, they came off the series against Vegas, against Colorado. So they didn't have easy opposition. They 2 Stanley Cup champions recently. Did Dallas look tired and wore down from the first 2 series, old man Fred?
As the series went on, I think they did. And also, I don't think what can be underestimated is the special teams. And ironically, it's not the power play; it's the penalty kill, and that's when you need those goals. And the Oilers shut the damn door like it was something.
They had no goals in the power play the whole series.
Absolutely, shut the damn door.
They barely even had chances. They barely even had shots.
So
that's crazy.
And I think, did they look tired? I think everybody's freaking tired at this stage. I mean, you've been playing for 6 weeks, pretty intense. You've been the victor in obviously 2 of those series. But yeah, and there's no answer. I don't like to jump on the superstars, but there's no answer for McDavid. McDavid, it's funny. We talked early. We said Leon Draisaitl, Conn Smythe. There's no way that that would happen now because McDavid right now
Hey, we're doing that later.
Would be that guy. Because
premature, Eric. Premature.
Yeah, well,
he's thinking about that Oilers girl.
Sorry, I was going to say it just reminds me of my youth. But yeah,
I'll just add on to that, old man Fred. Remember why Carolina lost? They don't have that go-to guy.
Yeah,
Aho's good, but just good.
Not.
And but Dallas didn't have Rupi Hines.
Yes.
And Robertson is not the game changer because he had a terrible year. Last year he scored 49 goals, but boom. Yeah. But he couldn't produce without Rupi, so they lost the first two. Rupi came back, but Rupi is like Aho. He's like a 70, 80-point guy. They don't have that McDavid, that Leon Draisaitl. That guy.
One thing on Dallas being tired or looking tired,
I don't think they were.
I think why the forward, the top six of the Oilers took a little while to get into the series is because they played 7 games against the Vancouver defense, which has got to be the biggest defense in the friggin' league, and they roughhoused the hell out of the top 6. So I think it took a little bit for them to lick their wounds, get back up to 80%, and then they joined the series, and that's when it was over for Dallas.
Yeah, but Dallas, they don't have that game changer, and when you're desperate, when you're getting outplayed. I remember one year when against Boston, like Montreal has nothing, and PK Subban started from his own back of his net, went all the way up the ice, went around Boston's zone, all the way behind the net, all the way to the blue line, went back again, went there, then he went to the net, shot and scored, and everybody was like, because they need a goal change and they won the series. It's like Heiskanen showed his limits. He's not a number one. I keep telling you, you need a number one guy that can run the power play. Heskanen's like a number 2 guy. He's not that go-to, that Adam Fox, that Mikhail Makar, that Quinn Hughes, and Butch. Now in Edmonton, this guy has just like continued his regular season. Like he's a number 1 guy now. Dallas, Heiskanen showed his limits, and they don't have that game changer. They're well balanced 1 through 4, which is great, but you need that game changer. And Florida, they have it because when they need a goalie, too bad for old man Fred, but Puke's always there to deliver.
Yeah.
You can hate the guy, but
how did they beat Colorado then? Because Colorado is kind of built like Edmonton. Like how is Dallas able to get by?
Colorado's goaltending is I would consider Edmonton's goaltending better than Colorado's.
Oh yeah, Colorado, Georgiev had a shitty year, shitty playoffs.
The thing that a lot of people are starting to look at now is Makar's. A lot of people they're looking at Makar's defensive stats, and he's not a defenseman by any means. He can't shut down a cycle to save his life.
No, and
Nichushkin,
but Nichushkin, when he got kicked out for, again, taking drugs, that killed the vibe.
Yeah, that hurt them. Yeah.
That guy's up over a point per game. Yeah. You take him out of the lineup. I don't care. There's McKinnon and Rantanen, but they're only 2 with Makar. He provided balance, and they had a shitty beginning of the year before Nichushkin came back, and then they dominated. But if you go back, they were like the Oilers. It's like, oh my God, Oilers suck. Colorado sucks. But Nichushkin came back, and I'm telling you, that affects the psyche when this guy chose drugs over his teammates.
All right. On that note, we're an hour in, guys. We're going to take a quick little break, so a chance to for all of us old fellers to
boiled eggs. What did I miss? Everything.
we were talking a good 40 minutes about the Washington Capitals.
Oh yeah. And what they can do to come back. Yeah.
Back in 2 minutes. All right, welcome back, everyone. And again, we're talking Stanley Cup Finals beginning less than 48 hours from now. Game 1 in Florida for the Stanley Cup. All right, let's revisit our predictions from round number 3. So with the Rangers and the Florida Panthers, old man Fred said Florida in 6. How many games did Florida take to beat them, old man Fred?
That would be 6. Yes.
Oh, that would be 6. Oh. Finn said it'd be the Rangers in 6. Didn't go very well that time, Finn.
Wow, he got the 6 part right.
Yeah. Give you half a point.
Frank went with the Florida Panthers in 7, and I was the other Ranger. I thought the Rangers would pull it out in 7 as well. So old man Fred and Frank nailed the team. Old man Fred gets the extra point for getting it in the correct games. And then the Dallas series, old man Fred, how'd that one go?
Not well.
Not well, yeah.
You know what?
I say it went pretty freaking good.
Yeah, in a way, it warmed my heart. I was glad to see it. So, yeah, but not well.
At least I think I had it. I had 6. Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
So.
Frank had Dallas in 6. And the Oiler fanboy had Edmonton in 6, and I had Edmonton in 6.
Did your mom say it was okay?
Did you have permission from mommy?
Hey, she's listening right now, fellas.
Oh, sorry.
Remember, old man Fred, you're her favorite, okay? So
well, I was until now.
Yeah,
Now it's going to be Frank.
She really likes boiled egg and fussmucker. I don't know why, but she says those seem like really fine gentlemen. She uses a few F-bombs in there, but, that's pretty much the gist of it.
Hey, Janks just said there's a commercial for the new Venom movie during the basketball finals. So goes back to my Utah name.
Well, it's funny because I was talking on a different stream yesterday about the beaver dam that they blew up on our property. And when the commercial came on, someone said they just showed a beaver commercial. So not that kind. Old man Fred, relax.
Yeah, I was going to say, what kind of channel?
Oh, what's that Oilers girl up to now?
They just showed a beaver commercial. What's that like?
Who knows what we're going to see in the finals? Well, we saw the top half in the semifinals.
Oh my God! Oh,
all right, so
that's what I watch.
Well done, and go Oilers. Well done in 6. So, old man Fred, your score is 11 points now going into the finals. Finn, you are at 11 points.
Ooh.
I have no hope.
Right? You and I are Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, we're
9 and 9. But we got bonus points for the final round, so we can still recover.
Ooh.
What kind of bonus points?
Like Jeopardy, double Jeopardy or something.
Oh yeah, that's like the game shows where at the end all questions are worth 1 point, and then the last one's worth 30. One guy's up 10-0, and then the host goes, "All right, 30 points. Whoever gets this one wins." And then the guy who had 10 right, he goes, "What?"
Yeah, that's pretty much how I run things here, Frank, because we're last. If we were in first, it'd be the other way. It'd be like, we're not going to have points for the final. We're not going to have points. All right. So we got the games coming up. They're pretty spread apart here. Again, it is, I've read it's the longest distance between two teams in a final. I don't know if that's accurate. I know Boston, Vancouver. Is it true?
Oh, damn, that would have been a good trivia thing. I didn't hear that.
Yeah. I guess cool. Boston,
the next
Vancouver
closest one was
Tampa, Calgary.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Tampa, Calgary would be a pretty far distance too. I think Fussmucker pointed that out to me, or Boiled Egg pointed it out.
They were talking about it right at the end of the Oilers, right after Game 6. They were talking about it on the Oilers network.
Yeah, I think that means the only one that can be furthest is Vancouver, Florida,
or Seattle, Florida.
No, Vancouver's further.
Vancouver would be the furthest.
No, I mean Seattle and Florida and Vancouver and Florida.
Better than Oilers. Okay, so this is probably the third longest that can happen in the current NHL.
Wow.
So, old man Fred, do you think that favors one team over the other because Edmonton is used to the travel during the season where Florida plays a lot of games within their vicinity there? Do you think it favors Edmonton the longer the series goes on, old man Fred?
No, you know what? I think at this stage, it doesn't. I think the teams are ready. I like the 3 days in between when they do transfer cities, and they do that throughout, right? They do that in 5, 6, and 7 as well. So it takes a while to finish the series off, but I thought that was very good. You're going to get the best out of these guys. They'll get that 1 day to recover, another day, and then they play the next night on the third night. So I think the NHL got it right. I'm not thrilled about the June 24th. I think that sucks. But at the same time, given the distance, I really applaud the NHL on this one. And I mean, good. We all like the NFL, or most of us like the NFL, and it's 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, right? So it's a really long run. They get a lot of time for that hype. So yeah, this has been a week just about for Edmonton, but I think the NHL got it right, especially given the distance. So the first answer is no, and kudos to the NHL for recognizing the distance. I think in this case.
Frank, do you know, Frank, if it does go 7, is that the longest for a Stanley Cup to be awarded in a season? Like June, into June, pretty much there?
June 24th.
That must be. Other than the 2021
COVID years or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, the COVID years. I think it is. And I think it's ridiculous. I think the season should start in September.
I agree.
Because September is more hockey weather than June, for fuck's sakes. So it's like, who wants to play on the 24th of June? You know, it's like
you could have a UFA win the Stanley Cup on the 24th, and 6 days later sign a contract with a different team. Like there's no real party time there as a team,
or get traded during the draft. I mean, that could happen before. So
So they should have like training camp the first 2 weeks of September. And then start mid-September to chop off this shit. You know, the Stanley Cup used to be awarded in May, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, breaking down. We won't spend a lot of time breaking down the teams, but this was the lineup for the last game against the Rangers. When we look at the two teams, Edmonton and Florida, two different style teams. What do you see, old man Fred, as maybe the decisive factor that could swing things one way or the other between these two teams?
I see Barkov because Barkov's going to be playing against McDavid, and he's a hell of a player. He's Bob Gainey in Russian form, and we all know it. Well, not all of us, but Bob Gainey was something else, and so I think that's going to be – and Sam Bennett. Like, seriously, I don't remember him annoying me when he was in Calgary, but Jesus, he is something. So he's we have the puke, and he's always going to be that way. But Sam Bennett is something else too. Like he's something. I think he was always injured in Calgary, so that might be part of the problem.
Yeah, they gave up on him, but as soon as he got traded, I think it was for a second, third, or fourth rounder. It wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't that big, and he's fantastic. He really does make a difference. So those are the two guys that I think will play a part. And for the Oilers, McDavid has the ability to play through that. Like everybody's like, oh, McDavid, and if some idiot in Florida said he was Mick overrated or something like that, and you can tell the guy turns off his TV at 9:00 Eastern time because he hasn't watched many Oiler games. But that's I think McDavid can play through it. I think Draisaitl's a tough guy, but this is a whole kettle of fish. JT Miller was very good, but I think Barkov's better at shutting down. So I fear that.
Frank, break down the defense matchups here between the two teams. How big of an edge?
It's not even close. It's like during the Rangers series, they kept saying like, when your number 6 defenseman plays like he's playing, which is Kulikov, your defensemen are doing great. So the top 4 is like Kulak, Nurse. My God, what he can't play. He can't find his bearings and all that. So there's one pairing that's doing well, because any pairing with CC on it is not doing well. So no, a big advantage to Florida there. It's not even, to me, it's not even close. So, and then the bottom 2 lines, man, like, thank God Henry came back and they didn't put him on the left wing of Draisaitl like they did when they acquired him at the trade deadline. Like, no, have him play center, you know? It's like he's on the third line, that's the third line right now. So that gives Edmonton a little bit more depth, and that helped them because they didn't have him to start the playoffs, you know? So that kind of put them over the hump like Rupi did for that one game. But it's not even close, the defense. Like, Bouchard's going to be playing a lot of hockey, you know? And, like, Gustav Forsling on Florida was a waiver pickup. Chicago Blackhawks gave up on him, you know? Montour, Ekblad they drafted, but Ekman Larson was shit in Vancouver and all. Then he comes here, plays well. Kulikov played shit in Winnipeg, played shit everywhere he went. And everywhere he comes here, he plays good in his 6th role. So, and did you know in this Stanley Cup 2014 draft, the top 4 picks are in the Stanley Cup finals?
I didn't know that.
Yes. And 3 of them are on Florida.
Bennett,
But the best one's on
Reinhart,
Edmonton.
and
What?
Ekblad.
But the best one's on Edmonton.
Correct. But still, it's like, and they didn't, Florida only drafted one of them, right?
Yeah.
And the other 2, because Bennett is one of them, I think.
Yeah,
and
Bennett's,
Reinhart.
And Reinhardt, yeah.
Yeah, so
Reinhart,
they got
Bennett,
Bennett and Reinhart for songs, because Reinhart cost a goalie prospect that was in university, a first rounder, which was late or not even picked yet, maybe this year. And then I can't remember the player. It's like they gave nothing for him, and for a 50 goal scorer, and then Bennett, and then Forsling. What's the third one?
Ekblad.
Oh yeah, Ekblad, and then they drafted him. So, but like Forsling is on the top pairing, and he was a reject from Chicago of all places. So sometimes people click on certain teams.
Ekblad went 1st overall. I believe Reinhart went to Buffalo 2nd overall, then Dry to Edmonton, and then Bennett went to Calgary. So we're talking in the top 4 or 5 picks, all these players in that draft.
Crazy, eh?
Finn, let's hear from you. As an Oiler fan, what scares you the most with this Florida team that could give Florida the big edge in the final?
I think it's between the pipes with Bobby. I think he could be the thing that the top 6 for the Oilers, they're going to find their ways to break through this defense. They have good skill sets, they have good plays, they have good everything to get through these to get through this defensive system. The one thing I'm curious about, though, is the Tkachuk and Kane. If Kane can shut down Tkachuk like he did when they played each other 2 years ago in Calgary. Kane was quiet in Dallas, but that's because Dallas played between the whistles. They never did any scrums after the whistles. They never engaged anybody on the Oilers after the whistles, anything like that. But Florida has that nasty edge to it. And if they start waking Kane and Ekholm has a mean side to him. You have even Draisaitl. He's a bigger guy who's not afraid to get in there. Perry, maybe Nurse decides to get a pulse. Desharnais maybe breaks back into the lineup. These are all bigger guys that can play with the bigger guys, the bullies in Florida. So I'm curious to see if Kane can shut down Tkachuk and if Skinner can outplay Bobby.
Goaltending, yes.
By the way, Bobrovsky, this playoff so far, okay? Turf Vasilevsky, one of the top goalies in the NHL. Turf Swayman, one of the top young goalies with Ottinger in the NHL, and Turf Schusterkid, who is considered the best goalie in the NHL. He's having a great freaking playoffs.
Yeah. But we've also all seen him dive off a cliff at some point or another. So same with Skinner. So they're very rocky goaltenders. I mean, Skinner doesn't have a past like Bobby, but Bobby's had very rocky patches in his career. So if he could keep it straight and true.
Yeah, but he was good all the way through. He didn't flunk in the playoffs last year. It wasn't his fault that they didn't win. So like he's on right now, and when he's on for a long time. And in his career, he always turned it on March, April.
Mm-hmm.
He always had his stats for the first half of the season is nothing compared to the second half. So he's used to turning it on at this point. So I would not I would not bank on him. He's going to look bad because it's McDavid and Draisaitl and, Bouchard. Any goalie looks bad. Like Ottinger looked pedestrian, and he's with Swayman, he's top 2 goalies, like the young goalies in the NHL. And Ottinger is very good, and he looked pedestrian, But that's how talented the Oilers are.
Let's here's a trivia question. We're gonna give Finn the first shot. Finn, which team drafted Bobrovsky?
Blue Jackets.
Nope.
What do you know?
Old man Fred?
Ooh, that's interesting. I would have gone Blue Jackets because that's what I remember. Flyers?
Yep.
There you go.
I think he was traded wasn't he traded with Jeff Carter to the Blue Jackets?
Ooh.
Might have been.
Oh,
I thought he started with the Blue Jackets.
Okay.
Yeah. No, he was originally a Flyers, and the Flyers gave up on him. So, Okay, let's go to our predictions. So let's kind of take a look at around the world, kind of what they're thinking about this final here, according to the sports betting sites.
Yeah.
Everyone's going with Florida here.
Florida. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going with Florida. And some of the other sports betting sites, FanDuel, DraftKings, Bet365, they give, the odds. And if you want to win some money, you bet Edmonton in 4. That seems to be the best, the long shot is the Oilers winning in 4. But even the Panthers winning in 4 gives you pretty good odds there. And so they think it's going to go 6 or 7 games, which is reasonable. And some of the experts out there, so-called experts out there in the hockey world, you might
recognize. Man, my expert panel was way more split than this.
Wow. This is their picks for the Stanley Cup. Only 2. We're picking the Oilers both in 6. Everyone likes the number 6. There was only one of these guys that said in 7 games. So, and then you see their Conn Smythe choice there, Chucky. Yeah. So let's look at who the AI is a big thing in the world. And apparently they asked the AI, Meta AI, who is going to win the Stanley Cup. And the AI said the Edmonton Oilers were going to beat the Panthers 4-2. They also said that the Conn Smythe would be awarded to Connor McDavid, the AI program. And this one's for you, old man Fred. When they asked AI, you'll take that, won't you?
Eichel gets the Conn Smythe. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
No, the Knights would beat the Leafs.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that part. I thought I just saw 4-3 Maple Leafs. I was too excited. Well, that's just effing great, isn't it? Yeah. So anyway, that's great.
You made the finals.
Well, yeah. Next year, then when we do this, Finn can say the Leafs are going to lose round 1. Then he can say the Leafs are going to lose round 2, and then round 3, and then he'll be proud of himself in round 4.
Yes.
It depends when Mother's Day is.
By the way, right. Lap, you need practice on asking your questions, because Little Green on the chat gave the correct information. Bobrovsky was never drafted. He signed as a free agent with Philadelphia in 2010.
Oh, very good, very good.
Take two. Who was the first NHL team that Bobrovsky played for?
Oh,
But it's okay. Yeah, it takes practice, Glenn.
Yeah. I'm not as good as you, old man, Lanky Frank, with all that trivia. So
kind of old too, eh? But anyway,
yeah. Okay.
Well, kudos to Little Green because he had the
Yes.
correct information.
that's good.
Thank you,
That's
Little
good.
Green, for that. Thank you for the embarrassing fact. All right.
Yes.
And then Mitchie says AI is delusional.
Machia Pet, yeah. Well, you got to give some hope to guys like old man Fred because it's been a long time coming.
Oh,
It is time.
Toronto
It is
only
time.
wins in games and stuff like that, like NHL 24 and AI. but except if the actual Maple Leafs are playing NHL 24 against other people, then they lose.
Now, Space, thank you for the raid, bringing over the 52 viewers over here. We're talking NHL playoffs, Oilers, Florida, and you've come at a good time because we are going to really put ourselves on the line here and make our final predictions. Old man Fred has 11 points. Finn has 11 points. Frank and I each have 9. You're going to get 1 point for the correct team. You're going to get 1 point if you call the number of games correctly. And we've got 2 bonus points coming up with some questions later on. So let's start with our 2 leaders. Winner and how many games? Old man Fred.
Got to go with my head. And I hope I'm just like I was in the Dallas series. I hope I'm wrong. Ready, guys? Here we go. Florida in 5.
5?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Florida. Oops, we'll leave that Stanley Cup there. Florida. We'll move Edmonton down here. Oop. Come on, PowerPoint. There we go. Florida in 5. Okay. Florida in 5. Finn.
I think this is where McDavid makes his mark. I'm going to go with Oilers in 5.
Whoa!
Son of a...
I don't think there's going to be any denying him when he's this close to it.
Oh my God!
White on white.
There we go. Okay. Frank.
Fuck. Heart, head. And they both start with H, man. Oh, fuck. I so want the Oilers to win, but
Me too.
like old man Fred, I think Florida's going to win. Who's the home team to start? Is it who
Florida.
gets Florida gets 4 games?
Yep.
Okay. Florida and oh man, I don't want them to win. I hope I'm wrong. I don't care about this fucking competition. So I'll go Florida. It won't be 5. I'm not as optimistic as old man Fred. I'm going to go Florida's one of the best road teams in these playoffs. So I'm going to go in 6. They're going to win at insult to injury. They're going to win in Edmonton.
With Chuck hoisting the cup in Edmonton.
Puke in Edmonton, and then that girl can flash, so the fans will be disappointed.
She should moon at that point.
All right. I am at the beginning of the year. We made our predictions back in October. I don't know if you guys remembered who you picked as your cup finalist. I said the Toronto Edmonton would be in the cup final, and I called Edmonton to win it. So I'm not going to go off of that. I am going the Edmonton Oilers, the first Canadian team since the Montreal Canadiens to win the Stanley Cup. And
hey,
I'm going to go.
Boiled Egg is trashing Finn right now. He wants to know.
You know what? Hey,
he wants to know what you're drinking. I know you're at the hotel there, but what are you drinking, man?
He's working. He can't drink. So there you go.
So I'm going to go Edmonton in 6, winning on home ice to finish off a great season. And
I hope you're so fucking right, man. Because it won't happen
me too.
in 5, but that would be great that they win in Edmonton.
In Edmonton too. Finn, what were you born in before 93?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have been alive when a Canadian team won a cup.
Barely.
Yeah, well, that's me and the Leafs, for God's sake.
I was not born the last time the Leafs won the Stanley Cup.
I was not born the
but I
last
don't
time the
remember.
Oilers won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, in 1990. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
All right.
So-
Chat has made their predictions as well. We saw some comments in chat. Fussmucker says the Panthers in 6. Boiled Egg says the Panthers in 6. What do you guys think?
I'm thinking Jenks is Oilers in 6. I'm just going to put that out there for him.
Oh, Jenks. So Finn is making predictions for Jenks right now.
Look, see,
there
he
you
confirmed
go.
it. He confirmed it.
Hey,
I mean,
there
we
you
got
go.
a couple Oilers there.
Machia,
Whoa.
yeah.
Oilers.
That'd be nice.
Okay. So yeah, this is still there's 2 points on the line here. And then we got I think we got one more here. Yeah. Another point if you correctly call the Conn Smythe winner, you get to pick one from each team. If Florida is awarded or Edmonton is awarded, we're going to go in reverse order. I will go first. So if Edmonton wins the Conn Smythe, it's going to be Connor McDavid. And if Florida wins the Conn Smythe, it's going to be Barkov, because that means he held Connor McDavid off the scoreboard. So Barkov, McDavid for me for Conn Smythe. Next up is Frank.
Bouchard for the Oilers.
What?
I thought I was going to be off the page by saying that.
Look at he's 1 point behind Leon. He's 4 points behind McDavid. 27 assists. He's killing it. And I had Leon last round, but Butch is money, man. He's the engine that makes it run. And Florida, if they beat the Oilers, man, has to be Bobrovsky. If they beat him, it's going to be because of Bobrovsky. So Bobrovsky and off the deep end with Bouchard.
All right. Finn, last time we looked at this, I asked you guys the question. I said, is there any way that McDavid could win the Conn Smythe? And many people, all of you guys said no. It's Leon's. They might give it to Leon even if they don't win the cup, were some of the responses. So Finn, are you going back on that? If the Oilers win, who's the Conn Smythe winner?
If the Oilers win, I was going to say Bouchard, but I don't want to copy Frank. So we'll go with
Boiled Egg has the answer, man. Honorable mention, Jack Campbell.
Yeah.
He could be the Markkanen that has to come in Game 3.
Ooh.
I would. I want to say McDavid. I think it's right there for him. He's going to be lights out this series.
And
you don't want to copy me, but you're copying Lap. I don't get it. We both have the same number of points, and Lap has the Oilers like you, so you shouldn't copy. Well, you should, because he can't catch you. That's strategy that you didn't know.
Way to go, Finn. How about if Florida wins the Conn Smythe? Who's it going to?
If Florida wins, it's got to be hands down Bobrovsky, because he would have stopped the two best offensive players and the best offensive defenseman in the league right now.
Okay, and finally, old man Fred. Let's start with Florida. If they win the Conn Smythe,
you know what? All my life, this is what's going to happen.
Uh-oh.
The person I hate the most.
Wait for it.
Oh no,
Kachuk. I'm going to go with him. That puke. He's going to skate around with.
I almost picked him, Fred. Oh man, I almost picked him, but I left him for you.
Oh my God, I did not disappoint. I can hate myself even more if he wins. So yeah, no, asshole. So yeah, that would be my pick for Florida. Let's hope that doesn't happen, because I want not only do I want him carrying the cup, but I want him carrying the Conn Smythe, and that's the best player in hockey. Let's go, McDavid.
All right. So McDavid, To recap, McDavid and Kachuk. For Finn, it is McDavid and Bobrovsky. For Frank, it is Bouchard and Bobrovsky. And I'm going with McDavid and Barkov as the Conn Smythe.
By the way, all of the people we mentioned deserve it. So
yeah. Well, and no one picked Draisaitl. He deserves it too.
Not
after the last series.
Not after Dallas. 4 points in 6 games. He dropped the ball. He had it in his hands and he dropped the ball.
Yeah, but he got them there.
It doesn't matter. The longer you go, the tougher it begins. And McDavid showed up. Bouchard kept showing up, but Draisaitl with 4 and 6, not good enough to win MVP.
You know what I'd really like to see, and I don't have the balls to choose him, but I'd like to see Skinner win the Conn Smythe. Could you imagine? Like, seriously, he got pulled for 2 of the games in the playoffs, but then he turned it around, and that would mean one hell of a series here.
If he gets 4 shutouts against Florida,
well, I'm thinking 45.
He might win, or like 1-goal games. Like if he goes, if let's say it's in 5, like one of you predicted, and he gives 8 goals, he might be the Conn Smythe.
I like Jenks. The Conn Smythe should go to the Flasher.
Well, she'd have to get 2 Conn Smythes then.
Well, she'll have the cup.
Yeah, just
and
one,
the Conn Smythe.
Oh,
one cup. Yeah. All right, last question, guys, for a bonus point here. Sports betting, they bet on everything, and one of the bets they have is whichever team wins the cup, the captain is presented the cup, and then he hands
first
it
player. First player he gives it to.
Yeah, who is the first player that either Barkov or McDavid will give the cup to? Let's start with Frank on this one.
All right, Florida, you will give it to Forsling, who has been a force in these playoffs. I don't think anybody's retiring or old on Florida. And Connor, going to be between 2. I got to pick. It's going to be Corey Perry. They always give it to the old fart.
No, I think there's one choice.
It's not your turn.
Okay, whose turn is it?
What?
So Frank goes Forsling and Perry. Okay. Finn.
For Florida, I'm going to go with Bobrovsky just because he would be lights out. He would have got them there. Their goalie. And for Edmonton, I think the clear-cut choice is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, longest-serving member of the Oilers.
That was a good one.
Has dealt with a lot of shit and has
9
chosen
different coaches. Yeah. Okay, yeah, good. Like, yeah, McDavid's got a tough choice. I'm sure it's a first world problem choice, but
but usually it's a team. They talked about the team talks about it.
Yeah,
I like
and
that.
The whole order is set. It's not like I'll give it to the guy in front of me. So, and that's why Fred gave it to an old fart. And we have 2 Leons in the chat, by the way. So,
I think Leon's the obvious choice, but I think it's Nugent Hopkins for sure.
Okay,
Fred.
Yakupov.
Jesus.
No, he'll slide down the ice.
Campbell. Why don't we bring Campbell out onto the ice? Give it to him.
All right, sorry, old man Fred.
After all, he was working the gate anyway. Might as well give him a shot.
You got those players on and off the ice in a real hurry.
Yeah, exactly.
No bench penalty when he was around.
You know what, Florida, I'm going to stay with my theme where I'm going to be just puking my guts out. So, of course, they're going to give it to Kachuk, and that toothless fuck is going to do something with it. So I hate it, but it's, why not? And I like the Oiler pick. I think that's beautiful, actually. I was going to say Draisaitl, but I would rather see the Nuge who lived through that decade of darkness. And I don't know, he's been here 13 years. He's gone through 12 coaches, I think. Like it's so yeah, it's amazing he hasn't aged because good God, he should have gray hair for God's sake.
Still looks like the day he was drafted.
He does. So yeah, I
I'm
like the
surprised
news. I
nobody-
really like that. Actually, I
I'm
hope they
surprised-
win
I'm
just to
surprised
see
that-
that. That would be good.
Yeah, I'm surprised none of you picked Skinner because he had so much controversy. Like he wasn't doing well early in the year, and just to give him a boost for next year, they might give
He's
it.
only 2 years into this, so he's coming at a good time. Nuge really has suffered. So yeah, no, cool. I like that.
Yeah, I think for Florida, I think for the same reason you guys picked Nuge, I think they'd give it to Ekblad, captain for a while. I think first overall pick. He's been with the team. He's had many injuries. He's struggled. He's been there the whole time, his whole career in Florida. So I think Barkov hands it off to Ekblad, and I think if they've had this conversation, Dry. If you hear him in interviews, he always says, Nuge is the coach's favorite, and he does everything that you ask of him. So I think Dry would be he would be the first guy to say, give it to Nuge. So I do think it will be Nugent Hopkins. There are some good stories. Corey Perry, even Adam Henrique, is the old guy that I don't think he's won a cup yet. Has he won a cup?
No, he was with New Jersey when they played it and they lost, I think. It was what I've heard.
So he might get the cup early, but I don't think it would be number 2. So I'm going to go Ekblad and Nugent Hopkins. So we will find out, guys. The series starts on Saturday. And I know I asked the panel here, I said, if it goes to a game 7, do you guys want to go live during game 7?
I said yes. I said yes.
Yeah.
No, I won't be around. No.
That guy, this guy right there, and this guy over here said no.
It's not going to go to a game 7. It's only going to be 5 games.
That's not the point. The point is, are you going to be live?
Nope.
And you said no. You there? No. And you there? No. And you, I understand because you're old. You're gonna have a heart attack. You have no fucking excuse, man. I want to be entertained.
I held my breath for 15 and a half minutes during the sixth period or the game 6 of the.
Hey man, you got big lungs, young lungs. You're okay, man. You can do that, but at least entertain us. You'll become red, blue, and we'll laugh. And if we make you laugh, it's gonna make you take a breath.
Just for that, you guys get to go to the bottom of the screen here. Frank and I are at the top because we're willing to go the distance here.
Let's see how the series goes and let's talk about it.
I'm not talking about it. I'm not going to be.
Old man Fred's gonna have a heart attack on screen, man. He can't deal with it.
Well, Frank, it's probably a good thing because if Edmonton won, Ryan would just be flashing us, and if Florida wins,
hey Ryan, if you go like this, is it like as good as the woman?
Martinis ain't got nothing on me.
If Florida wins, we would hear more cussing out of Fred than I think I've heard in a lifetime with Tkachuk hoisting the cup. So maybe it's a good thing. Maybe, Frank, you and I will have to come on if there's a game 7.
I'm okay with coming on right after the end of the series, like the horn sounds.
Well, you can join us then. 40
if we
minutes
let you in, man, that's the excitement.
I think I'd be drunk and belligerent. So no, I would not be drunk.
So
it would not be attractive.
Oh man, you're gonna be basically almost the same.
Yeah, see if you notice a difference.
Guys, what a season it's been, and we will be back after the finals. Probably, I'm thinking maybe draft night. Usually we do an episode during draft day. We've done that the last couple years.
28.
So we'll kind of target that date. And then we got free agency coming up. And then maybe a couple of summer episodes. One thing we like to do is redrafts, where we go back 10, 15, 20 years. And how would we redraft players knowing what we know about them now? So we have some summer content hopefully coming up. But, of course, it is summer. And some of these guys, take the summer off.
So the 28th, I'll probably be on, but I don't know in what form, if I'm going to be here on my bed, because I'm getting my operation on the 27th, and they say it's a week of it's a heart operation. So
good heavens, man.
Yeah, they said it's a week of recuperation, so I have no clue how drugged up and loopy I'm going to be. If I'm loopy, like old man Fred drunk, I'll be approximately the same as usual.
So when is the The draft. The draft is
28th, the first night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I'm going.
I think we should do one right after the series is over. Like maybe not that night, because we can either be drunk or in misery.
Yeah, but we can do on the 24th, but do it also on the 28th, because the draft one is cool, you know?
Well, maybe 3 of us can live stream the parade. You guys book your tickets to Florida or what?
Jesus.
Summertime in Florida sucks, man. The humidity. That's why I had somebody who was in Tampa, and he goes, attending a baseball game in that humidity in that stadium. That's why nobody goes. Like people go in September and April, but they don't go in July and August in Tampa. It's insufferable.
Well, and that's the Oilers girl there was just practicing. Air him out.
Thanks, James.
Your wife's not in listening range, is she?
No, she's 5 hours away.
Okay. So honestly, how many times have you watched that clip on loop, Finn?
I showed her it.
Did you say that's what a pear looks like? And then that's why you're banned for work?
Oh my God.
You're in Motel 6 down the road, man. That's what I think.
You're probably right in your neighborhood. I'm working. Yeah, you
working at Motel 6 down the road, man.
I bet you if he removes his Oiler background, there's like jail cell bars.
No, I'm actually 6 feet under right now. She gave me a laptop to keep myself entertained.
There you go. That was kind.
Guys.
Well, now Fussmacher, it won't be a long-term IR. It's a week recuperation max. So it depends on the type of procedure they use. The new one that's quicker recovery.
So, you're going on the Golden Knights LT.
Yeah, that's why he said Fussmacher. Only a week. I'm not going on LTIR.
Every year it's the same time, Frank, though. Come on. Always are you nervous with the Montreal draft situation or something? Man. Okay. Ezra's here. I guess show is over now because Ezra Denny showed up. Well, thank you guys. All the best to you guys. And as Bold Egg says, you know what the difference between okay.
Somebody made a drinking. The chat is hot today, man. They have the jokes. They have the jokes flying, man.
Ezra shows up and we all leave. He says he has that effect at all parties.
Yeah, I understand. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. TX says you have no excuse, Frank. If you're going to be in bed all week, then you should be fine. Can you stream from bed?
Because I might be forced to do the podcast like in my bed because I might not be able to come to my desk. Well,
there's a couch behind you. You can just lay back there and yell.
I can't come up. This is on the second floor. I might not be able to come up. So.
Oh no, the couch is there though.
I know, but this is a second floor.
Someone has to carry him.
See the stairs in the back there,
the stairs are right here. They go down by the Canadian jersey. So I might not be able to make it up to this second floor.
So you can't crawl to the second floor?
Not with the procedure.
Do it for the podcast. Come on.
Think getting kicked in the balls 100 times and then trying to make it upstairs.
Ben, what's that like?
So you mean my first marriage then?
Jesus.
Ezra with a second good joke, okay? This first one was the beavers blowing, but now he goes, I mean, Lap has proven you don't need a brain to do this.
Where is my mods? Get rid of this guy. All right. Well, gang, it really has been fun. We've had
if I'm still in my hospital gown, then I'll have to turn around. I'm telling you, the chat is fucking funny tonight, man. You're gonna have to print and laminate the chat conversation laptop.
Well, you know how Frank likes to expose his chest. I mean, Come on, Frank. Come
Well,
on.
I can't do the butt, man. That's gonna be too much for everyone.
You might get a few extra subs for it, Frank. You never know.
Yeah, we'll think we'll have Kachuk live then in that situation. It's like, wow, look at that. Kachuk's here. Big ass. We should say goodbye, probably. Eh?
Yeah.
So,
See, this is what happens.
People
when
just
Canadian
tuning in
team-
are saying, "What kind of podcast is this?"
Who the fuck watches this?
Ryan's boobs, Frank's ass.
This is
Beavers
Twitch, not
blowing
OnlyFans.
Beavers blowing up.
This is what happens when a Canadian team makes a Stanley Cup
Ooh,
final.
I'm so
All
excited.
Canadians are just high on the
Nice.
adrenaline. All
You know,
right,
they
guys.
say, you were both teachers, eh? They say when the kids are excited, there's a storm coming. Well, the Oilers making the Cup finals is the storm. So we're all
Amen.
giddy.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Closing comments. Finn, you're the youngest. Bring us back to some level of maturity here.
Go Oilers. That's all I can say. What else do you want me to say? I mean, it's going to be a hell of a ride, and hopefully the right team comes out on top.
What kind of word is all drank? Is Canada all drank?
Nah, you meant drunk.
Yeah. Old man Fred, your closing comments.
Lord Jesus, as a good Catholic, I'll say this. Please bring us a cup before I die. And this year would be a good one. Why not? I'd prefer it was blue and white, but blue and orange will be just fine too. So there you go.
And Lanky Franks, you started us off with the trivia. End us off with some wisdom.
Mac Daddy, keep it going, bring it home, and then you will be a legend. So this is your time. Do not disappoint. This is the difference between superstardom and legend. And you've got it in the palm of your hands. Don't do like the Maple Leafs in round one.
Ever.
So this is your chance. Do it. And I'm saying Mac Daddy because
Cut it off.
I'm just playing you out with some music, Frank. Keep
Oh my
going.
God.
I thought that was like the Oscars. Stop talking.
They just kept playing off stage. Yeah, he took it seriously.
Because the Oscars, some people are pissed. They start talking
Yeah.
louder and louder. You're not gonna cut me out, motherfuckers! I want to
All
say
right.
my kindergarten.
This has been the Black Aces podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a wonderful night.
Look at that lady shows up in the finals.
Enjoy the
Final
hockey.
girl.